Welcome to the first session of Anxious for Nothing. Why in the world would we be talking about being anxious for nothing? Well, here's the reality. In today's culture, people are searching for calm instead of chaos. It seems like anxiety is at an all-time high, and there's lots of things that maybe we don't even think about that are making people anxious. Dave, you and I have spent a lot of time together. We've spent a lot of time in ministry over the years and in different settings. What are some things that you're seeing in your line of ministry, some of the things that you're taking care of and involved in? What are some things that are making others anxious?
Well, in my years of ministry, especially now, the chaplaincy has really revealed a lot of hurt in the world. I usually see people at the worst days of their lives when I'm called out on a chaplaincy run. And the more older I get, the more I realize that fewer things make me anxious anymore. But what I do see, not only in the chaplaincy runs, but in my own life, is the things that make people the most anxious are when they perceive they have no control. When they have no control, that makes them anxious. And we've learned through ministry that we don't want control. God is God and we are not, and I'm glad about that. But the lack of control, the lack of perceived control in your life is what makes most people anxious about every circumstance.
Well, and I think that when we look at life, that lack of control or that sense of lack of control causes us to be anxious, just like you say, because right now people are anxious about politics, right? They're anxious about finances. They're anxious about what their children are going to do, what their grandchildren are going to do, day-to-day life choices, the uncertainty of what seems to be going on in our culture really tends to make people anxious. In this session, we're going to highlight some different things like planes falling out of the sky, right? And people's perception of what's going on politically or financially. We're going to dig into some basic things that help us see that Paul was writing nearly 2,000 years ago to a group of people that are just like we are. Yes, times have modernized, right? We have technology, we have other things, but the reality is people were still anxious. In Philippians chapter 4, the Apostle Paul is not writing this letter from home. He's writing it in a lack of good circumstance.
That's true.
Right? There was some things where he wasn't necessarily in control of, but here's what he says, Philippians chapter 4, and we look at verse number 6. He says, "Be anxious for nothing, but in everything by prayer and supplication with thanksgiving, let your requests be made known to God. And the peace of God, which surpasses all understanding, will guard your hearts and minds through Christ Jesus." Paul says that we can reach a place where even though we feel like life is out of control, we can choose to be anxious for nothing. So as we jump into this first session, I hope that you'll enjoy your discussion. I hope that you'll open up and let some of the walls come down. Maybe share about some of the things that make you anxious, and also share about some victories that you've overcome and how you're gaining the ability to make the choice to be anxious for nothing. As we take this journey together, we're here for you and we're praying for you. And remember that we are better together.